Next we have our own poet and long-serving member of this gathering, dear Boylan.
Yeah, I didn't have much time to write anything new, so I've gone back into the archives. So, this is called Rathkeale, Rosie. Long years ago, back when I was a boy, I found it tough making friends, due to being quite shy. And as for girlfriends and dates, well, none seemed my type. That was long before email, the Snapchat and Skype. I couldn't talk to my parents, I felt so alone, till I discovered some adverts in the back of the Ireland Zone. Long legs and eyelashes, likes jigging and reeling, with a bosom real curvy, which to me was appealing. So I wrote her a letter expressing desires to spend cold winter's nights cuddled up by the fire, and to join her in dancing her jigs and her reels, and admire those long legs in short skirts and high heels. After 2 weeks watching the Post and Telegraph's van, the day finally came, a reply from Madame. I climbed under the bed, and the envelope I ripped, and on reading the contents, my stomach had flipped. She too fancied me, from what I could see. I thought of my acne and my dodgy left knee. Then I glanced at the paper. With a kiss it was sealed, and the postmark was Limerick, the town of Rathkeale. What would I tell mother, or even my dad? If they thought I might leave them, they'd be roaring mad. But Limerick was calling, and my long-legged Rosie, wrapped up in a blanket by the fireside so cosy. After several hours thinking, I drew up a plan, and I told Mammy and Daddy that Rosie was a man. He was a fella I met at a match in Rossgrey, and was going down to see him, and for the night I would stay. My mother was worried about me travelling alone. She'd have no means of contact. There was no mobile phones. There was a tear in my eye as she waved at the door. I suppose it was normal. I was only 34. Well, my father, he drove me to the bus stop in Burr. I had nothing to say to him. All I could think of was her. Then I hopped on the bus, and my thoughts fueled with Cupid. I was smiling so much I must have looked awful stupid. In Portumna and Nina, we stopped for a rest. What a joy to be travelling on the Rathkeale Express. We had a pit stop in Limerick and a piddle in Adair. I couldn't wait to meet Rosie in her long flowing hair. Well, the bus had finally got there. We arrived in Rathkeale. I'd at last meet my Rosie. Oh, it felt so surreal. Her abode, she told me, was a few yards from there, number 6 on the main street, right across from the square. Well, me heart, it was thumping, and I started to knock. And then came out young Rosie in a bright coloured frock. Now, her legs, they were thicker than she wrote in the ad. But in the dimly lit light, I suppose she didn't look too bad. With a warm welcome smile, she beckoned me in. Her breasts were so large, they were touching her chin. Her flaming red hair, it covered her eyes, like a robber or a bandit in heavy disguise. After some pleasant chat, we sat down by the fire. As she crossed her long legs, the dress went up higher. Then she leaned over to me as if to embrace. My stomach was heaving. I was all over the place. We were close on the sofa. As the dress went up further, I was thinking about home and me father and mother. Then right there and then, I was about to indulge, when between her legs, I saw this great bulge. I made such a leap that I knocked Rosie down, and 2 heads of cabbage fell out of her gown. Her womanly features, my eyes didn't catch, were sadly homegrown in a vegetable patch. Well, I made for the door like a bat out of hell. The encounter with Rosie left me feeling unwell. I thought of the lies that I told to my mother, and I promised myself I'd not tell another. Now many years have passed by, and now I'm doing grand. I've a wife and a family on a free piece of land. 6 sons and 5 daughters, doing the best that I can, all living together in a large caravan. You see, the day I fled Rosie in the town of Rathkeale, I met darling Winnie as I crossed the wide field. She was boiling a kettle upon a warm fire, and her startling beauty I stopped to admire. 'Twas just 3 months later in the church we did wed, and I took Winnie home to our marital bed. Now I love all things about her. She's shapely and tall. And the best thing about her, she was born with them all.